Hello and welcome to English for a Better World, Lesson 8, Character. Who comes to mind when you think of great people? What makes them great? So these are the questions we will be looking at in this lesson. The theme is, what is a great person like? And of course, you will learn a lot of adjectives to help you describe what you think a great person is like. And our grammar is who as a subject and object. And we have listening, which is people you look up to. What kind of people do you look up to or do you admire? So, who comes to mind when I think of great people? A lot of people come to mind, but basically they share one thing in common. Let's look at Thomas Sankara. You probably know him, or a lot of people don't know him, so just look him up. Try to find out more about Thomas Sankara. And here's a quote from Thomas Sankara that expresses my idea of a great person. I want people to remember me as someone whose life has been helpful to humanity. So when I think of great people, such people like Thomas Sankara, like Gandhi come to mind. What about you guys? Who comes to mind when you think of great people and what makes them great? Warmup. What springs to mind when you think of these people? Albert Einstein, Bob Marley, Maya Angelou, and Gandhi. So what comes to mind when you think of each one of them? What is each one famous for? And if you don't know the answers, just go ahead, look them up. And what do you think they share in common? Well, to help you answer the last question, just read the quotes. Read the quotes from these people. So let's look at the first one. Only a life lived for others is worth living. That's Albert Einstein. And Bob Marley expresses the same idea, but in a slightly different way. Live for yourself and you live in vain. Live for others and you will live again. And in vain means uselessly. Maya Angelou, I think similar idea, but in a more poetic way. Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. What a beautiful imagery, right? And let's consider this quote from Gandhi. Again, I think it's the same idea. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. So going back to this question, the third question, what do you think they share in common? Well, I think the answer is clear, right? Now let's talk about you. What type of person are you? Are you usually smiling and happy? Do you enjoy the company of other people? Do you find it difficult to meet new people? Do you have definite plans for your future career? Does your mood change often and suddenly for no reason? Do you notice other people's feelings? Do you think the future will be good? Can your friends depend on you? Are you a reliable person? Is your room often a mess? Do you get annoyed if you have to wait for anyone or anything? Do you put off until tomorrow what you could do today? Do you work hard? Do you keep your feelings and ideas to yourself? Do you often give presents? Do you talk a lot? Are you usually calm and not worried by things? So pause the video and reflect on these questions. What type of person are you? Now let's look at the vocabulary you need to learn for this lesson. First, find the odd one out. We have 3 words and there is one odd expression or word. Find it out. Okay? So the first one is to admire, to look down on, to look up to. to seek, to look for, to try. Pessimistic, optimistic, opportunistic. Submissive, possessive, passive. Suspicious, accepting, trusting. Selfish, self-love, self-involved. Loving, controlling, caring. So find that one out and then do the exercise, the vocabulary exercise, to see these words in context, right? Circle the correct answer. Pause the video and do the exercise. Omar, what makes a great person? A great person is someone who is imaginative, curious, smart, empathetic, sensitive, open-minded, and open to change, keen to experience new things, likes to share. He has his or her own value system that aligns with who or she is, and internally inspired. Is someone who is internally inspired. And if, in case you don't know this person, his name is Noam Chomsky, quite famous. Next, Caviani. What makes a great person? A great person for me is someone who defines the game and is not defined by the game. A great person is someone who discovers their purpose in life and try to achieve it. A great person never gives up. So, what do you think, guys? Do you agree or disagree with this view? And we have Masoom. What makes a great person? A great person is someone who is different by being truly themselves. They do not try to pretend to be someone they are not. They are comfortable with themselves as they get their sense of self-worth from inside of themselves rather than outside. So, and what do you think, guys? What makes a great person? Well, share your thoughts and ideas with us in the comment section below. Listening, what are Americans like? What are Northern Nigerians like? What are Iranians like? And what are Italians like? Now, to find out about this, listen to the recording and answer the questions. What are Americans like?
Americans are very friendly people. They think that American way is the only way. Therefore, they like to have big houses, big cars, such as the Cadillac.
And what are Nigerians like?
Nigerians are very diverse people. There are a lot of tribes, a lot of cultures, and therefore it's hard to say what a Nigerian is like.
What about Nigerians in the north?
Northern Nigerians are predominantly Muslim. They are predominantly a feudal society and have basically a feudal culture.
What are Italians like?
Italians are talkative, they are sociable, friendly, and fashion conscious. They really care about their families and they really care about family life.
And what are Iranians like?
In my mind, Iranians are reliable and they're really friendly. They are responsible for their children and their family, and they're really sociable.
Food for thought. Think about the quotes below. Our character is what we do when we think no one is looking. Right? Well, look at the picture. I think it tells you a lot about the quote. And what do you think? Do you agree or disagree with this quote? Now, let's look at the second one. What a cute girl. My niece, by the way. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. George Bernard Shaw. So, what do you think, guys? A lot of people keep looking for themselves. I don't know why they have lost it. So he's saying, no, it's not about that. It's about creating yourself. And next we have this quote. Nothing shows a man's character more than what he laughs at. So what do you laugh at? Think about that. And does it really show your character, what you laugh at? And finally, we have this quote: a man's character is his fate. So your fate is determined by your character. Well, think about these quotes and tell us about your opinion. Now, what kind of people do you look up to? And what kind of people do you look down on? So let's listen to 3 people talking about the kind of people they admire and the kind of people they don't admire. All right, and listen to Ali, John, and Chico and answer the questions in the table below. Ali, guys, what kind of people do you look up to? John, I look up to people who really care about others, and I can't stand people who are self-involved. Chico, personally, I admire people who think for themselves and who question everything. Unfortunately, most people just go with the flow. John, I know what you mean. Ali, what about you? Ali, well, I respect people who try hard to make a difference in the world, and I definitely look down on selfish people. So a good person is someone we can love for being truly human. Chico, I think selfishness isn't the same as self-love. Self-love means you accept yourself, but selfishness means you don't like yourself. That's why you can never see a selfish person who's really happy. John, that reminds me of something. Martin Luther King said, if you want to find happiness, seek happiness for others. Ali, I totally agree because I have never seen a self-centered person who is satisfied with themselves. John, it's sad that most people look up to celebrities as role models when we have great people like Gandhi, Einstein, Mother Teresa, and Marx who devoted their lives to making the world a better place. Chico, I guess this has to do with how unsatisfied a lot of people are, because when you are happy with yourself and when you live a fulfilling life, you won't look up to celebrities. Grammar focus: who as subject and object. Now, use who as a subject when it's followed by a verb. This is a very important point. So for example, an ideal student is someone who is active, and the verb here is. An ideal teacher is someone who encourages full participation. So when who is followed by a verb, it's a subject position. But when who, right, is followed by a pronoun, it's an object. So a good friend is someone who you can trust, right? A good partner is someone who I can be comfortable with. So you and I are pronouns. Who is optional when it's used as an object. So you can say a good friend is someone you can trust. Or a good partner is someone I can be comfortable with. But you cannot do the same when who is followed by a verb. All right? So now let's practice. Some of the sentences below are wrong. Correct them. Pause the video and do the exercise. Well, finally, we have another exercise on the grammar lesson, who as subject and object. Pause the video and finish these sentences and look at these beautiful pictures. Well, this is the end of our fun and deep lesson about great people, what makes someone a great person. And I think it's Ubuntu, right? It's Ubuntu. That's what great people share in common. A genuine concern for the welfare of other people, of humanity. And they try to basically make life a better place for everyone. They make a difference in the lives of people around them and in the world. So I think you can be great too. Just make a difference, right? See you next Saturday.